Hi everyone, welcome back to our lunch bunch with Monstrous. As promised today, we are going to be looking at some glow-in-the-dark pigs and also some truly mad scientists. So it should be a lot of fun. We're going to start up with the monster mashup, Frankenstein, Science, and Genetics. And there is a whole diagram of a strange situation with a goat. So we'll take a look at that. In the movie, Dr. Frankenstein cobbles together a man by stealing different body parts from graveyards. We may not be able to mix and match body parts yet, but an organism's traits can be changed in a laboratory. Instead of organisms inheriting genes from their parents, scientists now can artificially transfer the genes of one species into another species. This new science is called transgenesis, and it has become a hotly debated practice due to the ethical issues it raises. Many people fear the science will someday be used on humans to create Frankenstein-like monsters. So we have a spider web and a spider, and it says the silk weaving gene from spiders is combined with a goat's DNA. The goat says, "Please don't give me 8 legs." The gene causes the goat to produce silk protein in its milk. Silk is extracted from the milk and spun into thread. Your genes are the set of instructions you inherit from your parents that determine traits such as eye color, hair color, and your killer science skills. So let's talk about these spider silk goats. Humans have a conflicted relationship with spiders. I hate spiders. We're terrified of them, but fascinated by the silk threads they weave into their webs. Because spider silk is stronger than steel, but also lightweight and elastic, scientists have recognized its potential to make stronger bulletproof vests, I didn't know that, safer car airbags, and more flexible sutures for surgery. Unfortunately, spiders cannot be farmed like silkworms because they have the inconvenient habit of eating one another when kept in close proximity. So pioneering scientists took the silk-making gene from spiders and put it into the milk-producing DNA in goats. These spider goats look like normal goats, but they produce silk in their milk that scientists can then separate out. And unlike spiders, these part goat, part spider animals have no desire to eat one another. Yet. I actually had no idea that that was going on. That's pretty incredible. So spider DNA added to a goat, better thread. We also have Mighty Mouse. And then we're going to read about the glow-in-the-dark pig. In a 2007 experiment on mice, scientists modified the genes that turns glucose, the simple sugars found in foods, into energy. The super mice with the modified gene ran an astonishing 3.7 miles at a speed of 65 feet per minute for 5 hours. These mice need to eat more, but they don't get muscle cramps, are half the weight of normal mice, and live 3 years longer. They also are more aggressive. Ooh, watch out. Let's hope these mice are used to fight for good and not evil. Glow-in-the-dark pigs. Scientists created pigs that glow green under black light by injecting jellyfish DNA into pig embryos. Thankfully, the pigs did not inherit the jellyfish's stinging abilities, and they're as healthy as regular pigs. These glowing pigs are special because they are genetic markers. Genetic markers work just as they sound. They mark when a gene has been successfully incorporated into a species. Currently, this research is being used to study hemophilia, a rare genetic disease in which the gene that allows blood to clot is missing or defective. People who suffer from hemophilia can have excessive bleeding from even minor cuts, but these luminescent swine have given scientists hope that they may someday find a cure. And I thought they were just doing it because it's kind of cool. I kind of want to go after this online and see if I can find a video of a glow-in-the-dark pig. Spinach pigs. Most people would argue that bacon doesn't need to be messed with, but scientists just can't leave well enough alone. Spinach pigs were created by taking a gene from spinach plants and transferring them into fertilized pig eggs. By doing this, scientists made pigs that are leaner and therefore healthier to eat. While spinach pigs might not turn sausage into diet food, it does create meat with some of the health benefits of spinach. Scientists are predicting that livestock with plant genes, such as spinach pigs, will be in the grocery store within 10 years. Until then, you could just try eating spinach. The Beltsville pig. He doesn't look too happy. This poor piggy looks sick. The Beltsville pig is the classic tale of science gone horribly wrong. In hopes of creating pigs with less fat, Beltsville pigs were given the gene for human growth hormone, the hormone that promotes lean, strong muscles and helps delay aging. Unfortunately, these little piggies never quite made it to market. The pigs did have less body fat, but they also had a slew of health problems: painful joints, diabetes, diarrhea, heart disease, ulcers, a weakened immune system, bulging eyes, and thickened skin. 17 of the 19 Beltsville pigs died before their first birthday. That's very sad. All right, here we go. Real monsters. Or True Tales of Mad Doctors. Dr. Frankenstein's experiments may seem bizarre, but the following mad scientists also push the ethical boundaries of science. John Harvey Kellogg. Frankenstein gets a cereal. Scientists are always trying to come up with ways to control human behavior, and Dr. John Harvey Kellogg thought he had the answer: cornflakes. Or to be more precise, tasteless cornmeal baked into tooth-cracking hard biscuits. Kellogg believed a bland diet was the secret to health, while rich food led to illness. Unfortunately, no one wanted to eat Kellogg's cornflakes until his brother added the secret ingredient: sugar. Years later, cereal manufacturers kept adding more and more sugar until they had a breakfast food that would send any monster into a diabetic coma. Other weird science followed. When Frankenberry cereal was first introduced in 1971, the cereal got its powder pink color from red dye number 2 and 3. It also had the nasty side effect of turning kids' poop pink because the dyes were indigestible. Many parents rushed their kids to the ER complaining of pink poop. The dye's formula has since been changed, or so we hope. When Frankenberry cereal was first introduced in 1971, it terrified parents because it turned kids' poop pink. Gross. Sidney Gottlieb, Dr. Feelgood. Everyone knows drugs are bad for you, but in the 1960s, Sidney Gottlieb believed he could use the hallucinogenic drug lysergic acid dithylamide, otherwise known as LSD, to control minds. Gottlieb worked for the CIA on a top secret program called MK Ultra, in which he drugged human guinea pigs with LSD. The hope was that the CIA could use the drug to force enemies to reveal secrets. Gottlieb enlisted several artists and writers for his experiments, including author Ken Kesey. Kesey went on to write his famous novel, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which you will probably read in high school, or at least have a chance to. It's also a pretty famous movie that you could check out, about a rebellious mental patient subjected to mind-controlling drugs, shock therapy, and in the end, a lobotomy, which we'll read about. Then we have, the lobotomy is next. Get ready. This part is very disturbing and gross. Check out this picture. I know, I told you. Walter Freeman, A Piece of Your Mind. In Frankenstein, the monster cannot control his impulsive behavior and kills his creator's wife. If he had lived in the 1960s, doctors might have treated the monster's aggression with a lobotomy, a brain surgery that severs the nerves in the front part of the brain called the prefrontal lobe. The lobotomy was developed by Dr. Antonio Egas Moniz in 1936, but it was Walter Freeman who perfected it years later. In a typical lobotomy, Freeman hammered through the tear ducts in the eyeballs into the brain with an ice pick-shaped tool and then swirled it around. Oh my God. As if you were mashing up an avocado. The lobotomy could be completed in under 10 minutes. And Freeman often demonstrated its simplicity by performing it with his left hand, even though he was right-handed, and sometimes hammering through both eyes at once. The results were mixed. The lucky ones just became more docile. The unlucky ones became incapacitated or died. Freeman mashed up about 4,000 brains before doctors realized the lobotomy was hurting patients. There's actually a documentary about this you could check out if you are interested, and it's put out by PBS. It's one of the American Experience documentaries, I'm pretty sure. But you will see him perform this procedure, which is totally disgusting and horrifying. Next is Robert J. White, the head switcheroo. In Frankenstein, no amount of wax to the noggin could have tamed the monster, but perhaps a new head would have helped. In 1970, Dr. Robert J. White performed the first successful head transplant when he sewed a rhesus monkey head onto a different monkey body. Although the new monkey head could see and taste, it was paralyzed from the head down because the spinal column could not be attached. This alone should make human head transplants seem like a horrible idea, but such is never the case. Italian neurosurgeon Sergio Canavero has claimed he will perform the first human head transplant, but he has yet to do so. Many doctors don't believe it can be done and worry about the psychological impacts of such a switch. Yeah, I'd worry about it too. Vladimir Demikov. 2 heads are better than 1. In the movie Frankenstein, the mad scientist transplants a head onto a body to create his monster. Head transplants may seem like sci-fi horror, but it has been done. In 1954, Dr. Vladimir Demikov created the first surgically made 2-headed dog. Demikov performed the experiment several times, and his most successful pair of canines lived 29 days. Are human head transplants in the future? I hope not. So that is the end of Frankenstein. So next time we are going to start a new monster, which should be awesome. There is so much that we just covered that you could look up more information about, and I think I'm going to do the same thing. If you come across any amazing pictures or disgusting pictures or some interesting facts that weren't covered in the book, please send them my way. You can DM us, you can send us a message on Facebook, you can email me at lynch@addisonlibrary.org. So excited to hear what you find out. Bye.